Middleman Productions, and today we're going to go ahead and forge out a couple of tomahawks, or trade axes, or throwing axes, you know, whatever you want to call them. I've sold quite a few of these actually, and my stock is getting low, so I want to add a couple more tomahawks to the store. And I got the stock already prepped, and I'll bring you over to the anvil and show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and get the forge back on, show you what we're going to start working with, and we'll get started. So hold on. Alright, so here is the stock we're going to be starting with, and our stock is coming in at right at 12 inches long by 1 3/4 wide by 1/4 inch thick. And I already have the two bits prepped up, and these are coming in right at 2 inches a piece, just over 2 inches each one. So this is all spring steel. I don't have any mild steel. Typically you can make these using a mild steel stock for the body and the wrap, and then you insert a high carbon bit, but these are going to be all high carbon. This is going to be a spring steel. This is also spring steel. So when we do the heat treat, the only thing we're going to heat treat is the bit, and the rest of the body is going to remain unheat treated. So that'll keep some softness, and being how it's spring steel, it's still going to be, you know, still be pretty tough too. So this is what we're starting with. This is where we're going to get going. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in the forge, and we're going to start fanning out the ends a little bit, and then we're going to fold it over and start setting some forge welds. So we're going to go ahead and get started, see what we wind up with. Alright, so first we're going to start with a taper. And this is pretty much just to accept the bit, because the bit is also tapered. Alright, so I'm still tapering. I got one side done on both of them. So now I'm just tapering this out. I'm tapering it back about the whole width of the bit. So I'm tapering it back to about like right here. And yep, that's what we're doing. And after I get both of these tapered the rest of the way, you can see it's making like a fishtail. We're going to go ahead and shape that up the way I want it to be. Alright, now I'm going to shape it the way I like it. This is all a matter of personal preference. You can have your shape any way you want them. Whether that be fanned out or tapered down. You can taper it up if you want, I guess. So this is how I'm shaping mine. This is going to be the top of the hawk on this side. It's going to be the bottom. And basically it looks like a giant bow tie. So I guess I should let you know I am using my rounding hammer to do this, so I can hit this radius without worrying about putting dents in it. Probably should have did this a couple heats ago, but it got a little bit thin. But that's alright, we'll get it. so still shaping this one. So I let the fishtail get away from me a little bit. But I think I got it back in check. And here's where we're at. They're not 100% identical. It just has to be close. So we're going to get the. We're going to fold this. Well, first I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to clean it up on my belt sander. Get down to some clean metal, and we're going to go ahead and fold this over and start to weld the body together. All right, there's my two pieces cleaned up and shaped up a little bit on the belt sander. And here are my two bits. Here and here. So what I like to do before I fold it over is I'm going to MIG weld these bits in. So this is just something I do to save time and a little bit of aggravation. I will MIG weld these in, then I'll start to fold it over, get some flux in here, and we'll forge weld the body together. So let me go ahead and do that off camera. I don't like to weld using my video camera. Well, you don't really see anything anyway. So, all right. So I got my two bits welded on, and I went ahead and put a little bit of flux in there. Whether or not that's going to make a difference, I don't know. But it's just something I do to help with the scaling. So forge welding those in just saves me time and a lot of fiddle work trying to get it in there after I set the welds on the body. So, you know, traditionally you would fold it, weld it up to this point, drop your bit in, and then continue welding it. So I've done it that way many times. I'm just doing this to save time. And to those who think that's cheating, you know what? Well, you're right, it's cheating. So now let's get back to work and get this thing folded over and see if we can weld it together, weld them together. In the pursuit of continuous improvement, I thought I would try to just bend it around instead of hammering it around. First of all, I could probably do it in one heat, and second of all, I can get it a lot closer than trying to do it with a hammer. So, yep, I think that worked really nice. second time I get to use my tomahawk tongs that I made quite a while ago actually now. So I'm just trying to get this flux down inside here. On both sides. Just letting it melt and kind of work its way down inside there. So here's the first one. Forge welded together. Next we're going to let it cool down. We're going to do some shaping on the belt sander. I'm going to run a bead, a MIG weld in the eye, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to re-drift the eye to this final shape. And I want to put that bead of weld in there to reinforce everything. I want it to be nice and strong. So now I'm going to start forge welding the second one. And after I get that one forge welded, then, like I said, we'll bring it back. Alright, so here's the two tomahawks. After everything's been shaped up. So now I got to finish drifting out the eye. I did run some weld in the front of each eye seam, so when I start to drift it, it'll stay together. Then we're gonna just make sure everything's nice and straight, be ready for heat treat. Alright, here's the two hawks after I shaped up the eye. I wanted to talk about what we did, or what I did, before we move on to the next step. So when I started to drift the eye, I had the hole way too small for the drift, and it kept popping the weld on the back of the eye. So I had to just run the eye in. I just had to run the drift in the eye, and it did open up the weld about a ½ inch for about a ½ of an inch after the eye. So after I got the drift in, I rehammered it and closed it back up and reforged welded it. And for good measure, I came back and just hit it with another strip of the MIG weld. The hole was just too small for the drift, and I should have known better, but I didn't. It's been a while since I forged a tomahawk, no excuses, but what I should have done was, before I started welding, forge the eye around the drift a little bit bigger, and it wouldn't put so much stress on it when I went to finish the eye off. So, but no harm, no foul. We're back on track. It just got a little chaotic, so I had to turn the camera off. But we are back on track. They are going through a normalization cycle right now. Then I'm going to get it back on the belt sander, clean it up. Then I'm going to do a heat treat and a temper, and these will be ready for a handle. You know, of course, a sharpen, but these will be ready for a handle. So the handles are actually in the mail, and you have to wait to see it on the handle. That'll probably be on Instagram or something. But for all the purposes of this video, just forging the hawks, I just wanted to take a minute and talk about a mistake that I made. I should have known better. Like I said, the hole in the eye was just way too small, and expecting that metal to expand before it popped that weld is kind of I should have known better than to expect that. It even popped the MIG weld that I had on it. So yeah. But anyways, like I said, we're back on track, and I just wanted to tell y'all about that. The next time I make a tomahawk, you're probably going to see me. You're going to see me forming around the drift before I actually start welding it. Get it a lot closer to its final shape. So, all right, I'm going to turn you off and get these cleaned up on the sander, and then we're going to be ready for a heat treat when I bring you back. All right, looks like everything came out of heat treat okay. I quenched it in oil, and then I just kind of gave it a quick dunk in water, and it's still kind of hot, so I'm going to carry these in and get them in a 425 degree oven. So I'll bring it back after the temper. Probably be in there for about 2 hours, but it'll just be a fraction of a second for you. All right, so what I said was going to be a fraction of a second for you actually wound up being a whole nother week for me. The handles did come in, and I went ahead and halved this one. And right now I'm just rubbing it down with linseed oil. And yeah, this one turned out really nice. But yeah, one of the two of them were just kind of a thorn in my side throughout the entire time. So this one here, I heat treated, and it actually kind of delaminated the weld up near the front, up in here, a portion of the way back. So I kind of had to grind past it. And then I had to do some hand sanding, and I had to do some grinding on this side as well, just kind of even everything up. And I lost a little bit of size on the hawk as a result, but this one's not ready for the handle. I still have to do a little bit more hand sanding. This one here welded up nice. There was no hand sanding. It went straight from the temper to the belt sander, and I put an edge on it. And this one's ready to go. Really pleased with the way that this one turned out. And I'm actually pleased with the way that this one turned out, but I just had to do a little bit more extra work, and no big deal. I didn't want to have to spend the time doing it, but there's nothing wrong with this thing. It just had a little bit of a delam from the heat treat. And again, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish hand sanding. I got the delam out, as you can see, but I have to go and I have to do some hand sanding on this one, and I'm going to leave it in a bare metal finish versus the heat treat finish. So I'm going to go ahead and knock this video off here. You'll probably see some pictures of these on Instagram coming up when I get this one hand sanded. I'll get some pictures and post them on Instagram. Also, you can look for these on my Etsy store. This one may go up sooner than later. This one here, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll get the hand sanding done on it tomorrow, get this one finished up. But I am going to go ahead and knock this video off. Just FYI, I got 2 more handles, so I'm probably going to have 2 more hawk videos coming up soon. I don't know if they're going to be tomahawks or some sort of Viking style wrapped axe, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I made this one pretty much traditional as far as the shape of it. So maybe on the next 2, I'm going to go ahead and make some sort of bearded Viking style wrap axe. Who knows? But I'll go ahead and get you some pictures of these. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Check me on YouTube. Check me on Rumble. Check me on Instagram. And of course, check out my Etsy store. It helps keep the shop going. And yep, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.